In a world where David Nugent and Steve Guppy can win international caps, and that's for a half-decent national team like England, one might think that anyone who can pass and trap a ball with any discernible talent would have received international recognition by now. Well, not quite. A while back we did a video on the 7 greatest uncapped footballers of all time, which featured one of the finest goalkeepers to have ever lived and the most prolific goalscorer in the sport's history. Not long after that, I also did a video on the 7 best current uncapped players, and most of them have now won international recognition in the 13 months since that video came out. So when someone suggested that we put together an uncapped 11, it seemed like a good time to revisit the concept. To be clear, we're only talking about current players here. Here is our best 11, made up of uncapped players. Goalkeeper. Ralf Fährmann. Goalkeeper is a position which tends to lead itself to very good uncapped players. Since you can only ever play one goalkeeper and the position is rarely rotated with the exception of injuries, it's not unusual for a very dependable club goalkeeper to go their entire careers with either no or very little international recognition. Germany probably have the most strength between the sticks of any country on earth, most notably with Manuel Neuer and Marc-Andre ter Stegen fighting for the number 1 shirt, a fight which the Bayern Munich man rarely loses. We will have a substitutes bench for this video, where the goalkeeper will be another German, but getting his hands on our number 1 shirt is Ralf Fährmann. One of the best goalkeepers in the Bundesliga, Fährmann has gone from strength to strength at Schalke, and he was particularly impressive last season. Now aged 30 but still as yet uncapped, Fährmann did represent Germany under 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21 level, but he's yet to even be called up to Joachim Löw's first team squad. Left back. Sergio Escudero. Now, if I didn't have such a backlog of video ideas that I'm desperately trying to get done, and had uploaded this video when I first spotted the idea, the left back spot would have gone to Alex Telles. The Porto star incredibly only won his first cap for Brazil during the recent international break, the victim of a Brazil squad with heaps of depth in his position. His replacement is Sergio Escudero. Called up to the Spain squad in 2016 for friendlies against Macedonia and England, Escudero never got on the pitch, so he remains uncapped. Formerly of Schalke and Getafe, Escudero joined Sevilla in 2015, where he has since made over 100 appearances and won the Europa League in his debut campaign. Centre back. Aymeric Laporte. At the heart of our defence, and arguably the finest player in our entire squad, it's incredible to think that Aymeric Laporte still hasn't played an international game of football. Signed by Manchester City for £57 million, Laporte is the second most expensive centre-back of all time, but he's justified that price tag in his first full season at the Etihad. Pep Guardiola has plenty of options at centre-back, with the likes of Vincent Kompany, John Stones and Nicolas Otamendi at his disposal, but it's quite evident that Laporte is his first choice. The Frenchman seems to strike just the right balance of defensive solidity and ability on the ball, and when everyone is fit, it's a question of who partners him for City at centre-back. Deschamps supposedly has his reasons for not calling up Laporte, whether it's that he doesn't need a left-footed centre-back, wanting to keep a settled squad, or reports that he considers the 24-year-old to be arrogant. Ultimately, France won the World Cup, so Deschamps can call the shots. But Laporte is arguably among the 10 best centre-backs in world football right now, so we still think he's a bit mad not having him in his squad. Centre-back. Clement Lenglet. Our second centre-back is another Frenchman, another left-footer, another man playing regularly in one of the best teams in the world, and another who Didier Deschamps seemingly isn't convinced of. Clement Lenglet only arrived at Barcelona from Sevilla in the summer, but he appears to have dislodged compatriot Samuel Umtiti as Gerard Piqué's preferred centre-back partner. Lenglet isn't as technically gifted as Laporte, but he's a very solid defender, and it's hard to believe that he too would be uncapped if he were from any other nation. Lenglet and Laporte represented France together at youth level, and they're now our centre-back partnership here. Right back. Mitchell Weiser. The likes of France, Germany and Brazil all have excellent squad depth, so it should come as no surprise that it is players from these countries that dominate our uncapped 11. In at right back is our second German, Mitchell Weiser, who joined Bayer Leverkusen in the summer, having one of Hertha Berlin's most impressive performers. A prolific goalscorer as a striker in club's youth teams, Weiser joined Bayern Munich at the age of 17, where he was tried out in every position except goalkeeper. Now settled at right back, and one of the Bundesliga's best for that matter, the 24-year-old is quick and adventurous, but as yet, uncapped. Defensive midfield, Fernando. Ousted at Man City by the brilliant Fernandinho, Brazilian enforcer Fernando made his name at Porto, and he registered over 100 appearances in 3 seasons at the Etihad. A track record like that would win most players a handful of caps at least, but in a Brazilian squad with competition from the likes of Fernandinho, Casemiro and Luis Gustavo for his place, Fernando has never earned so much as a caller. He is now starring in the Turkish Super League, where he is one of Galatasaray's best players, and he is the base upon which we build our midfield. Central midfield, Manu Trigueros. For a long time now, Spain have had just ridiculous strength and depth in the centre of midfield, with the likes of Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Xabi Alonso, Cesc Fabregas, David Silva, and others all vying for contention. They're now starting to move on from that generation, but it's still an incredibly competitive position. It's no great surprise that one of our central midfielders is a Spaniard then, and that man is Manu Trigueros. Virtually a one-club man, Trigueros has spent his entire top-flight career with Villarreal in La Liga. Once a member of Barcelona's La Masia Academy, Trigueros is just about everything you'd expect of a classic Spanish playmaker, and he's closing in on 300 appearances for Villarreal right now. He made the 2016-17 La Liga Team of the Season, but that still wasn't enough to earn him a caller, and now with the team down in the bottom 3, it's hard to see Trigueros winning his first cap anytime soon. Central midfield, Abdoulaye Doucouré. Whilst these type of fancy 11s can sometimes throw up pretty daft and unrealistic lineups, it has to be said that our midfield has fantastic balance and should actually be fairly functional. With a pure destroyer like Fernando at the base, who just loves to defend, a technical and creative playmaker like Trigueros keeping things ticking over in front of him, and then the box-to-box energy, athleticism, and ability to drive with the ball in Doucouré alongside him. Doucouré is a player we've long admired, and we've made no secret of that on this channel, and we still feel there's yet more to come from the Frenchman. He was Watford's player of the season last term, but he'll probably have to be putting in top-class performances for a team playing European football in order to break into France's senior squad. France's loss is our gain though, and Doucouré completes our midfield trio in this 4-3-3. Left wing, Jota. Called up to the Portuguese squad for the first time during the recent international break, it's surely only a matter of time before Jota wins his first cap. He didn't in the country's 2 draws against Ukraine and Serbia though, so he's a nailed-on starter for us on the left flank. Jota is a brilliant little player who can play in a variety of positions. He was the top scorer at Wolves as they won promotion from the Championship, and he's just started to click into form in front of goal in the Premier League as well. He has bagged 6 goals and 4 assists so far this term, and only Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson have combined to find the back of the net more frequently than Jota and his teammate Raul Jimenez in the Premier League this season. Right wing, Leon Bailey. Whilst every other player in our starting 11 has fallen victim to having such stiff competition for a spot in their national team, the reasons for Leon Bailey not having yet won a full international cap are rather different. The 21-year-old, who was one of the brightest talents in the Bundesliga last season, was born in Jamaica. Bailey made 1 appearance for Jamaica's under-23s, scoring once, but has consistently rejected call-ups from the senior squad, supposedly because he is waiting for the standard of Jamaican football to improve and has had personal issues with Jamaica's governing body. Bailey's stepfather, who also serves as his agent, suggested that the player was being monitored by England in the build-up to the 2018 World Cup, but subsequent reports suggested Bailey wouldn't be eligible to represent England since although his grandparents are English, they were still born in Jamaica. It seems a shame for the 21-year-old not to be playing any international football at all, but it's a real coup for our starting 11, and the quick and tricky youngster waltzes into our side on the right flank. Centre forward, Willian Jose. Like Jota, Willian Jose recently received his first call-up to the national team, although Brazil rather than Portugal in his case, and it is possible that he might have won his first international cap by the time this video comes out. I can't see into the future though, and at the time of this video's production, he's the right choice as our centre forward. A serial loanee who has bounced around a number of clubs early in his career, even making 1 appearance for Real Madrid a few years ago, Jose's recent rise has gone a little bit unnoticed outside of Spain. That's probably because Real Sociedad don't play any European football, but let us fill in for any of you who don't know anything about him. Jose finally seems to have settled at Real Sociedad in 2016, where he scored 14 goals in his debut campaign, 20 goals last season, and 9 so far this term. Tall, strong, a force in the air and good on the ball, he tends to play in a bit of a withdrawn role. As we said, he may be capped by the time this video comes out, but right now we have to go with him. Substitutes. There are lots of honourable mentions that we could name, but in the fear that it could get a bit tedious, I'll just share with you our bench, and then you can let us know in the comments if you feel as though we've made any glaring omissions. Starting in goal, we promise you another German, and that man is Timo Horn. Highly rated from a young age, Horn represented Germany at every single youth level and made 6 appearances for the country's Olympic team, but is yet to win a full cap. He's currently playing in the second tier with Cologne, but looks a good bet to be back in the Bundesliga next season. The 2 defenders on our bench are Yuri Baccice and Ivan Meccano. Both Spaniards, Baccice played 32 times for PSG at left back last season and is now a regular fixture at Athletic Bilbao. Meanwhile, Meccano signed for Roma in the summer off the back of 4 impressive seasons at Porto. Should anything happen to Fernando, our backup holding midfielder is Frenchman Francis Coquelin. A nasty little midfield scrapper who looked to become a regular at Arsenal a few seasons ago, Coquelin is now playing for Valencia, but is yet to win his first cap. Our next sub, Talisca, is probably the best player on our bench, and would have made our starting 11 if there had been room for an attacking midfielder. Having scored prolifically in Turkey with Besiktas, Talisca was hot property in the summer, and it looked as though he would sign for either Manchester United or Wolves. In the end, he struck up a lucrative deal with Guangzhou Evergrande, bagging 16 goals in 18 games on loan at the Chinese Super League outfit. Alex Teixeira is a fellow uncapped Brazilian attacking midfielder who looks set to be on his way to the Premier League, Liverpool in his case, before moving to China instead. It was his signing which really showed the pulling power of the Chinese Super League and its millions back in 2016, and the 29-year-old has since scored 47 goals in 103 games for Jiangsu Suning. The last man on our bench is yet another attacking midfielder, although all 3 are capable of playing out wide or up front in case you think we've just forgotten about any kind of structure on our bench. He is former Real Madrid B star Pablo Sarabia, who is now a key man at Sevilla. Few players can have made more appearances in Spain's various youth sides than Sarabia, but the talented and tricky 26-year-old is yet to win a senior cap. He has bagged a fantastic 19 goals so far this season and would give Leon Bailey a strong challenge for that spot on the right flank. So that's it for today's Not Actually a 7. As always, let us know any new video ideas you'd like to see from us in the comments. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for HITC Sevens for more from us.